We're going to talk about responsibility, your conscience, and safety. You decide what's important to you. We're here at the scene of an accident after a driver was drinking, injuring a person in a bicycle and also the passenger and himself.
Strapped to his back. It's actually called the extrication device. He also has a cervical collar on, and this is because with car accidents, there's a high likelihood that there's been some sort of spinal injury. So CERT and EMS are trying to minimize any potential complications and extricate the patient safely.
If you are scared of what you just saw, this is not a real accident. This is a demonstration by Rescue 911 here at UWO, giving a message to all students not to drink and drive.
The driver will be taken, blood samples will be drawn, they will be analyzed, and his blood alcohol concentration will be determined that way if necessary. So his liability is not made any easier by the fact that he doesn't go to jail tonight.
We are here to make you aware of what drunk driving can do. Please think and be responsible before you go to a party. We want you to think about it before you go and make arrangements to get a ride home from the party. Please don't drink and drive. It's sometimes a fatal decision. Thank you.
We need to get awareness out to everybody that drinking and driving don't mix. And we need people to be more responsible about their decisions about drinking and driving.
Well, I was shocked that it was such an extravagant procedure, but I felt safer to see everyone doing what they had to do and to recognize that this is what happens every time someone drinks and drives and acts inappropriately.
So what will you do about it if you see someone drinking and driving? What are you going to do to change it?
Well, hopefully I can be someone who can address the issue before someone gets into a car. And if and when I do see someone getting into their car after they've been drinking, my first step will be to stop them or to call emergency response teams so they can address this before anything like this happens.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Hello, what's your name?
Emily Rowe.
And what's your name?
Dan Moulton.
And Emily, why did you do this today?
Well, we were both asked to volunteer by the USC, and I think at first I thought about it and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do it to help out. But now going through the whole process, I think it's an amazing situation that they do here, and it's amazing for all the students to see what the consequences are.
Okay. And what about you? How did it feel to go through all of this?
Well, it was a really interesting experience. Like you just don't see that side of things often, and so it's just not as real as this was. And being in the driver's in the seat and being there and going through it, it was a very powerful experience, and it's so different than what you expect it to be like.
So do you think you guys actually gave a message to people?
I think so. I think just having everything here felt so real, for sure. I hope so.
And do you think you gave a message to anyone?
Well, I really hope so. I think a lot of people were stopping by and checking out, seeing what was going on, and that was great. And I think the more people that come by and sort of see that the reality of the situation and experience it right there in front of them, I hope that sort of sends a message home for them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tell me, why did you organize this today?
Well, we've done this before. This is probably the largest one that we've had. But it's to bring all of the emergency services together and at the same time show students the hazards of drinking and driving. And even the police and most of the people that are here will not have seen an extrication before, but just knowing that we have that sort of expertise right at our fingertips, how closely together EMS works with our own CERT team, with the fire department, the police department, and so forth, I think it's a very important factor.
What's a message that you want to tell everyone?
Don't drink and drive.
I'm in charge of the London Police Service Traffic Management Unit.
Tell me why it's important to have this kind of thing going on today.
Well, this is impactful. It's right in your face. It's showing impressionable people what might happen, although it's a scenario, but what might happen in the event that somebody makes the bad decision to drive a car or vehicle after drinking alcohol.
What would you say the result of the driver's, what's going to happen to him?
Well, this driver has suffered some injury, but like often it happens, they don't suffer the same injuries that they inflict on people. And this person is going to be arrested and charged with impaired driving, and his life is going to forever change as well. His license will be suspended. His insurance will go up. It's estimated that a person who is charged with impaired driving, it will cost anywhere from $15,000 to $40,000 to deal with that charge, whether it's lawyers' fees, insurance, medical, and so on. So it's a very costly, bad decision on the part of somebody who wants to drink and drive. But I'm at a loss still after 28 years of policing as to which direction to try to get young people to change that decision. Once you start drinking, if you don't have a plan how to get home safely, everything falls apart. I have asked on numerous occasions young people what their definition of a designated driver is, for example, and you get a wide variety of responses. Many of them will say it's somebody who only will promise to have a few drinks and stop a few hours before they have to drive. Very few of them will say adamantly that it means not to consume any alcohol whatsoever. Our statistics in London will show that about 40% of all our impaired driving arrests are of people who are under 35 years of age. And these are people who have grown up with the message from MAD. These are people who grew up with a G1 and G2 class license that tells you you're not to have drinking alcohol. But for some reason, young people aren't getting the message.
What's the message that you want to tell everyone?
Don't drink and drive. That's the bottom line. You have no idea the pain you will inflict on others, including your own family. Don't think of yourself. If you don't want to think of yourself, that's fine. Think of others. And my other message is I think we aren't gaining the ground that we used to, and now we need to implore other friends and family, husbands and wives, brothers and sisters to assist the police and the media to say, stop doing that. So if you know somebody who drinks and drives, stop them. Turn them in if you have to. Call Crime Stoppers, whatever. Refuse to get in a car. We need other people, the non-drivers, to now take a role, to start turning the tide the other way, because it's leveled off and it's getting worse.